So let's talk about Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, Ab-Soul, and J-Rock, aka Black Hippy, the hip-hop supergroup that never quite actually existed. Don't get me wrong, they did make songs together, so whenever the four of them would feature on a song on one of their albums, it was considered a Black Hippy collab, but they never got around to making a fully realized album or mixtape, so it's like kind of hard to consider them an actual collective if they, never collectively released anything. Although it was originally Schoolboy Q who came up with the idea for making the group. He's apparently on record as being inspired by the idea when he thought, hey, if we're a group, I'd only have to write one verse per song. So, they probably didn't have the most ambitious motivation off the bat anyways. That said, they still had a pretty solid lineup, so you understand how people were waiting with bated breath. There was Kendrick Lamar, the now obvious superstar with the super intricate contemplative lyrics. There was Ab-Soul, the guy who many would argue was more lyrically impressive than Kendrick with his wordplay, but had a more playful style. Then there's Schoolboy Q, the no-nonsense hard-edge rapper of the group. And then there was J-Rock, who was, also there. I'm sorry, I just never got his appeal out of the four. He never really stuck out to me. And I know he had the standout verse on Kendrick Lamar's Money Trees, and hey, he does have some pretty earwormy hook moments. Like, if you don't like that I don't like J-Rock, I know what you're already thinking.
You ain't gotta like it 'cause the hook don't love it.
See, that's just a monster hook right there. Like, even my over-intellectualizing ass can't argue with it. But guys, I'm sorry, the man didn't do himself any favors by being the guy on the Black Panther soundtrack responsible for this infamous verse.
I've been ready, my whip been ready, my bitch been ready, my click been ready, my shit's been ready, my checks been ready. I got pulled, I hope y'all ready, you know I'm ready.
Like, oh, my foot's been ready, my dick's been ready, my poop's been ready. Like, what the hell is this?
I gotta go get it, I gotta go get it, I gotta go get it, I gotta go get it. My name gon' hold up, my team gon' hold up, my name gon' hold up, my team gon' hold up.
Guys, this was supposed to double as the lead single to his next album. And just as an aside, man, look, I know when I'm harsh to an artist that people like, they like to poke at the music I've made, right? Like, hey, for talking all that shit, ain't you, mister?
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
And you know what? Call my shit goofy as fuck all you want to. I ain't afraid to say I'm the goof boy out here. But at the very least, I came with something a little more ambitious than just yelling, my toes been ready, my nose been ready, my butthole's ready.
My shit's been ready, my checks been ready, my shots on full, that's Armageddon.
And then rhyming all of that with Armageddon. Like, wow, imagine taking the $1 million chance Kendrick gave you by putting you on the biggest soundtrack of the year and using that platform to just shit the bed, waste everyone's time, and then expect that to be what was gonna get people pumped for his music. I'm just fucking saying. And what's the craziest thing is that, as Kenny explained on the Heart Part 6 joint from his latest album, G&X, J-Rock was the first one of the four who got signed.
That was back when the only goal was to get J-Rock through the door. Was excited just to go to them label meetings. Wasn't my record deal, but still I couldn't believe it.
And it's like, wow, kind of crazy how that dynamic shook out, huh? Although I could totally imagine a record label thinking, yeah, that smarty art rap shit, that ain't gonna take off. Let's make sure to push the guy who's appealing to the more lower common denominators out there. But, you could say when they were on tracks together, they would bring out the best in each other. Like the absolutely stellar slippery flows on Vice City, or the way they jump off of each other on the Say What's Up joint, or the Dat Part remix. Unfortunately, I can't say that for today's song review for Zip That Chop That from 2010, because I can't lie, this song really does feel like the crew at their most underwhelming. And even with respect to the fact that this is early on in their careers, even Kendrick Lamar's bars feel like they're kind of lacking.
Ring the alarm or wait to a bomb. You ain't a rapper, you Elton John, holding your John.
Really compelling stuff. Also, whoa, what was up with those girls? It looked like they volunteered to do a thing where they were going to follow him down the street or something, but then their table got called and they had to go or something. That said, I do like the way they add to the rhymes from the last guy's verse as they trade off every 4 bars.
I got a ton of croutons in the Louis Vuitton. That's big bread, the chickens are flying flax when I come.
Part of the song, have drunk stuck in the palm.
Although, again, Kendrick's rhyming here feels weird, like rhyming Louis Vuitton with cum, but saying it like comb. Like, for Kendrick, this feels like a bit of a cheap rhyme scheme, right? But again, this is 2010 Kendrick Lamar, as well as the rest, who were probably like 22 or 23 at the time, so this is one of their early collabs when they're all figuring out their styles and techniques, you could say.
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
Even so, though, Schoolboy Q actually does come through with the coolest, most commanding force out of the 4.
Cool in the calm, laid back, smoking the phone, socking the shit out of niggas till I'm breaking my arm.
And J-Rock takes up his rhyme scheme solidly enough.
Up in my zone, 2 blunts, couple Patron, 45 on me, shoot you if you fuck with me wrong.
Although it does kind of fall apart with Ab-Soul's clunker of an intro line.
Never drove a fast car. I almost ran over Tracy Chapman. She said drive slow. I said fuck off.
Because it's like, wait, what's going on? So you never drove a fast car, but you almost ran over Tracy Chapman who was telling you to slow down? So, like, what, were you obeying the speed limit while driving recklessly? I don't think that logic would hold up in court. Actually, as much as you might assume me to be the Kendrick stan here, I'm more forced to hand Schoolboy Q the crown for showing out the best lyric-wise.
Blowing sticky, before the group been a hippie. Big money, long stocks, I ask Hippy. Mask on, one sock, I get busy. Made enough, richer than Lionel. Fucking bitches on my job, coming harder than Rhino.
Now, by the end of the track, Absol and Kendrick do eventually manage to pick up some steam and momentum.
Contagious is mad syphilis, blazing the sky, gifting this die over death sentences, flow hot. Plus the beat not hell of my kill the witnesses.
Gifted as 20 Christmases, itching to blow like 20 bitches with mouths that need a dick in it. Wow.
But even then, class clown Absol over here keeps getting sidetracked with wacky non sequiturs.
I smoke black, relax, and watch Walt Disney. Speaking of Disney, fantasies I had many. I used to hate on Mickey Mouse, cause he had many.
Oh, okay, so you're jealous of Mickey Mouse over the fictional rat pussy he's getting? I feel like you didn't need to tell us that. Overall, I'd have to give it a 3 out of 5. Sure, it doesn't need to be that deep, but unfortunately the inconsistent lyrics make it not that much fun either. Now, as we all know, Kendrick ended up turning out to be the golden boy of the rap game, so by the time they were getting put on magazine covers like XXL, they were being labeled as Kendrick Lamar and Black Hippy, prompting a sour response from Ab-Soul about threatening to leave the group if publications kept doing it. Kinda weird to leave a group that doesn't even have an album out yet, but okay. But hey, on the strength of the buzz from their features and their solo work, they were racking up cosigns from Dre and Snoop Dogg, even Tech Nine was out here calling them the new NWA, but then nothing ever really ultimately came of it. No group album, just scattered features like Infinity Stones flung across the extended universes of their solo careers with no album gauntlet to show for it. And then Kendrick dipped from TDE in 2022, snapping the Thanos glove once and for all. And unfortunately, there's not too much to tell at the end of the story. The group didn't seem to dissolve over major disputes or anything. From what I could find, the consensus is that Kendrick's career just took off so quickly, being the first of them to go platinum and really get things moving and shaking on his end. So while everyone else was getting busy tunnel visioning in on their own albums to not be far behind, they could never seem to manage the time to work on a full collab together. Plus, as Kendrick later admitted on the Heart Part 6, being the god MC of the genre put him in a position that made him really bad at consistently keeping in touch with everyone, apparently.
But I done a half job communicating feelings of being stagnant. Life was getting bigger than just rapping jog. My memory knowing Black Hippy didn't work cause of me. Creatively, I moved on with new concepts and reach.
All that said, it seems like they're still on good terms, what with the rest of Black Hippy joining him on his pop-out show 2 years after the split, showing the group had no bad blood. But the fact of the matter remained, with him being at the Olympian height of his career where he could officially be his own boss, he's just at a different level of profile as an artist now, to where any collab would inevitably be Kendrick's name and lights first on the marquee. And with the aforementioned problem of competing careers to focus on and the ticking time it takes to establish your own brand, without a Wu-Tang Clan-like model where there's like a RZA head of the group and an album that's anchoring their collective collaborative spirit into, unfortunately the whole chapter of the Black Hippy movement feels more like the Avengers who never made it to the first big movie. Just a post-credit scene that never really paid off. Well, I guess they were Black Hippies in the sense that they were clearly smoking mad weed and just kind of fucking around and having fun, so in a way I guess it does kind of live up to how a good portion of the hippie lifestyle plays out.
Hippies, they're everywhere. They want to save the earth, but all they do is smoke pot and smell bad.
So while altogether this collab isn't that bad, it's clearly the sound of 4 really good rappers on the early end of their career still figuring out their personas. And personally, I'd way more recommend the later tracks I mentioned earlier, like Vice City. That shit really was the best showcase of the kind of energy they were capable of pulling out of each other.
7 figures for a headline, you want some stage time, we can talk about it. Niggas acting like they be rapping like nights on the mic. Truly not.
Well, that's the episode. So check all that fun stuff out and I'll catch you next time. Peace.